Hey, everybody. Welcome to Big Dumb Monsters. I'm Nick.
And I'm Chris.
And you hear Donner in the background. This week, we almost successfully recorded an episode for Spawn.
Yeah.
It must be a cursed movie.
It is cursed. Like, at least people know this one exists, unlike the last one.
Yeah.
Which just disappeared into the ether.
Yeah. We had a extra special guest. See, it's my turn to not be able to speak correctly. Yeah. Nick Marino, comic writer extraordinaire.
Yes. If you are anyway familiar with my old show, Nick was a frequent guest, and if you listen to tonight's episode, you'll see why. He's great to talk to.
Yeah.
And again, I'm so pissed that this ended so poorly.
Yeah, but we'll get there. Anyway, enjoy us talking about Spawn with Nick Marino, Big Dumb Monsters.
The air itself is filled with monsters.
Hey everybody, Nick here. I'm editing the podcast and realized we lost roughly 20 to 24 minutes of our interview with Nick Marino. It's just in the beginning. We were pretty much bullshitting about a bunch of pop culture stuff. So you didn't really miss anything too important, just some entertaining stuff. But yeah, the rest of the episode should be good. We lose him at the end, unfortunately, but there's a lot of gold in this episode, so enjoy.
But they went for the hard bodysuit in this one, and I feel like it made Spawn too chunk. Like, that's the thing. I'm watching this and I'm like, Michael Jai White, I think you're awesome. Like, I feel like I don't know who else they could have cast in this role other than him at this time. But bro, you look chunk in this armor. It does not look right. It is the incorrect
flopping
dimensions.
around.
Yeah. No, it makes him look clumsy. And if there's one thing that Michael Jai White is not, it's clumsy. But yeah, it was probably just because like all the Batman movies, like even the Schumacher ones, it was all like hard sculpted rubber bullshit. So yeah, they were probably just trying to follow that, which meh. Like maybe they tried cloth and it just didn't come out right on.
I was going to
film.
say, like, the look of, like, I don't know, like everything in this movie, and then him pulling off like a cloth mask, like I don't know if that would play like well, like I don't know.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't have worked. They had a very interesting dance they had to do with Al Simmons' face, because you need to know it's Michael Jai White because he's bringing so much personality and charm to the character.
Yeah.
But then it needs to look like Spawn. But then he spends a disproportionate amount of time not in a Spawn mask so they can have the face acting and the makeup that they spent so much time applying.
Yep.
But then also you're not looking at Spawn's most iconic feature, which is his mask. Yeah. So I feel very mixed about it. I think that the technology they use now to get that Deadpool mask going, that's going to be a lot more effective the next time they do a Spawn reboot.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that kind of like not quite vinyl, not quite leather. Like, yeah.
It's face spandex.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they in CG, they animated a bit. They get those eyes going a little and stuff. And I'm like, why not? I think that's fantastic.
Yeah. Like we talk about it all the time. It's like the perfect amount of CG for a thing is when you have a practical effect and then you just tweak it with CG. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of something that's 100% computer generated, and it's because you can always tell.
Yeah.
And so if you have something that's real and then you just kind of spruce it up with CG, then it makes it work.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is, the antithesis of what they did with the hell scene here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Maybe if we just overwhelm them with CG, they won't be able to tell. It's just everywhere. Like.
And you can tell they had different studios doing different sections of that, because sometimes you're like, whoa, Violator, like this is working for me right now. And granted, by the way, I have to say, I was watching this on my Spawn VHS tape.
Oh, hell yeah.
As you can see, I didn't even rewind it. It's still,
You were not kind and did not rewind.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I own it.
That's punk rock.
Fuck them. Yeah. But so I imagine that it might have looked a little bit different than it looked for you guys. With that said, I'm watching it and I'm like, sometimes there's just no lighting or shading applied to Violator in these hell scenes, and then it cuts back, and then he's got like ragdoll, maybe green screen sometimes Spawn.
Yep.
and Violator. I'm like, oh, Violator's not so bad. Like this is going from PS1 to PS2, and it's working for me, and I'm okay.
In the scene where like,
and then
I was just saying, in the scene where like Violator is fighting Spawn, like he's in the demon form.
Yeah,
it doesn't look that bad. Like it looks kind of good.
Yeah, when they're fighting like street level, it looked good.
Yeah.
Oh, that one's fine.
Yeah.
No, I don't mind that. But it's also such a weird dance they had to do, because I think they wanted to emphasize what we all know and love most about Spawn: the cape, the brooding.
Yeah.
The he's hiding in a dark alleyway, whatever. But instead, it's a martial artist in this chunk bodysuit with like guns half the time.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I'm not saying Spawn doesn't do that now and then, but like, I want to see the chains. I want to see the cape. Like, you guys aren't selling this for me in quite the right way. Instead, it looks like a weird, like somebody was like, did you guys see Guyver? Let's just do that. Let's do that, but not quite.
I just remembered what I was going to say like 10 minutes ago. I remember like not being crazy about this at the time. And like now I do appreciate it a lot more. I think this suffered at the time because this is right like at the time that the cartoon is airing on HBO, which was like,
oh, they were concurrent. I had no idea.
Which was like, because I remember watching that, like it might have wrapped up at that point, because I remember watching it in high school when it first like premiered. I had like a bunch of people over, like we all watched it at my house. Like, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it was probably like in its maybe like third season, maybe at this time, or maybe second season.
The Spawn party. That's what we did for South Park. I wish I'd done mine for Spawn.
So I mean that cartoon was just fucking awesome too.
I still have not seen it.
Really?
I look at it on HBO Max every fucking time. I'm like, I'm gonna watch it. I'm just not tonight. I'm gonna watch it. Not tonight.
That's a risk, okay, because I know I haven't seen it since it first came out.
Yeah, you've got history with it.
Yeah. So like, there's like a nostalgia factor for it, but like, I remember it being like just dead on with the comic at the time. Like it was perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Visually, it's quite it's immersive in the way that the comic is. Story wise, does it hook me quite the same way? Like those first 15-ish issues of Spawn, I really did enjoy those. The show didn't hook me in quite the same way, but you can't fault it for how good it looks.
Yeah. It was like, that's like the max, right? So like,
I love that too.
The comic was like crazy and weird and cool. And then the cartoon was crazy and weird and cool. But if I go back and watch it now, am I going to think it's cool? I'll think it's crazy and weird. But does it hold the cool?
That's a strange one. That one is like, it's almost motion graphics at times.
Yeah.
But it's in Sam Keith's style, so it still looks spectacular even when it's the motion is, let's say, a little bit underwhelming on the Max.
Yeah.
But like, can I sit down and watch the whole thing? Probably not.
Yeah. You want to throw on an episode or two and be like, oh yeah, this was fun.
Yeah. And then 2 years later you're like, I haven't watched the Max lately. And then you go and you're like, do I want to start with episode 3 or like, should I start from the first one? You start from the first one and then the cycle repeats over and over.
You're like, oh yeah, I'm done with this. That's right.
Yeah.
The 90s were fucking wild. They were so wild.
You know, I feel like there was a plethora of exciting, weird stuff that was on back then.
Oh no, 100%.
We do have a lot of
100%.
good stuff now, and streaming has totally changed things. So I'm sure if we could have accessed the catalogs we have back then, we would have thought that this was like mind blowing.
Think about the comic book,
the
movies.
Quality level. that could really differ.
Yeah.
From project to project back then.
Yeah.
But like, think about the weird comic book movies we were getting, like in that weird 90s period. Like you said, Tank Girl, like, this. You had like
the cool indie shit was hitting.
Yeah. Oh, there's another one that was just at the top of my head that I can't remember anymore. Damn it.
Well, even think
Barbed Wire was another one. Like,
oh, Jesus Christ.
That's so weird that they did that.
Yeah.
And you know what's technically a comic book movie? Time Cop.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It is, but but it's more like, I think Mike Richardson at Dark Horse, he was making things to be optioned a lot of times at that point, greenlighting things, knowing. So I don't know how long it came out before the movie came out, which was kind of like with Barbed Wire. I don't think it was out much before the film actually got going.
We're skipping one of our favorites, The Crow, for Christ's sake.
The Crow, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is an incredible accomplishment because it not only holds up, but it's sort of like a trendsetter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Well, even if you go back and you look at that comic book and you just read it, you never think like, oh, this would make a great movie because it's so jarringly different issue to issue.
Yeah.
And you've got
raw. Yeah, it's really raw.
Yeah. And you've got all this like philosophy and poetry and it's song lyrics and things like that. And like, you never are going to look at that and go like, this is, I got a script right here. Like, there it is. But somebody figured it out and it became this like alternative like opus.
Yeah.
And you know who we got to thank for that? Fucking Eastman and Laird. I mean, really, it all kicks off with Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was what, 89 or 88?
The cartoon.
90, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the movie. The live action movie.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's 90.
Yeah, I think
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember going to see that one in the theaters with my dad. Something I didn't do for Spawn.
Yeah.
I remember that was the first movie I ever saw in a theater, like, more than once. Like,
really?
Yeah. I'm like, I need to see this again, like, immediately.
It's a good film, and it really changed things for independent comics creators. And not only that, those guys maintained ownership of that for what, like, it's been 2000, I don't know, around 2010, something or other, they sold. So I think they maintained complete ownership of that for, 25 years, thereabouts. That's pretty incredible.
Another banging soundtrack too. Fucking the original Ninja Turtles fucking soundtrack.
I thought you were gonna go with 2 for the Ninja Rap.
Oh no, hell no, man!
I already said go Ninja, go.
That's a classic, though. I got no hate for that.
No, the original movie soundtrack was fucking awesome. I remember listening to that a lot too.
I had the second one. I think it was just a Ninja Rap cassette.
You just had the single. You were like,
I think it was just the single.
Yeah. Did the B-side have the instrumental?
I might have. Yeah. I think it was like a weird colored cassette too.
Probably
green, right?
Yeah,
kind of like opaque green.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the cool part is like if you get these really rad indie comics and they become like really popular movies, people who never knew that they were comic books are going to see, like based on the comic book by blah, blah, blah. And then they're going to go buy it.
Yeah.
Because like, who knew that The Crow was a comic book?
Yeah.
Who knew that Ninja Turtles was a comic book? Who knew the Tank Girl was a comic book? Like most people knew Spawn. Who the fuck knew Blade was a comic book? Other than like really crazy Marvel
at
nerds.
that point, diehard Marvel fans. Yeah.
I didn't know Blade was a comic book until probably like fucking 5 or 10 years after the movie came out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because I don't pay attention to things.
No, I get it. That makes sense.
For movie tie-in wraps, we have a question from the audience. Was everyone aware of the Nightmare on Elm Street Will Smith collaboration?
Nightmare on My Street.
Yeah. Nightmare on My Street. I remember the video for that. Yeah.
Yep.
I only remember it vaguely.
Don't go back for it.
I'm not going to. I didn't plan on it.
And don't talk about Will Smith's wife either, whatever you do.
I will.
Nah.
What's he going to do? Slap me?
You wouldn't be the first person to misjudge that.
You know what? That to me was a standout Oscars moment.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm fully in support of it. Also, like, I'm not going to lie. Like, Chris rocks. I'm sorry, bro, but like, you maybe just had that coming in life in general. Like no offense, but like, just a little bit. Like,
you're going too long without physical violence.
just needed a little slap.
Yeah,
and like, yeah, it was good. I missed it because I was in the theater watching Everything Everywhere All at Once, and the movie wrapped up, and my friends started checking their phones, and they were like, guys, we fucked up. We should have been home watching the Oscars. They're like, we really fucked up.
Yeah.
I remember doing like a triple take at that when I first saw it. It was just like, what?
Yeah, it was like, like a haha funny scripted event. It was like, oh shit, no. He slapped him full real.
We had a couple wild years of Oscars, right? We had that one. We had the Moonlight one, where they read the wrong winner. That was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we fucked up.
I turned it off. They read the wrong winner. I turned it off. And then my wife was getting text messages like, turn it back on, turn it back on.
I just can't bring myself to watch that shit. Because I know the Oscars is a little different, but like, let's say the Grammys, I cannot have music be judged by people that don't know shit about music. Like,
it's true. It's true. You know what the thing is, though? I watch them now. I used to not watch them. I abstained for a long time. Yeah. But I live in Los Angeles, and it's after a while the allure of it is too strong because you're maybe going to have an acquaintance that's like working on the red carpet or something like that. Doing some random job. And, or maybe, you got a friend who you're like, they're going to be in the back in the audience. So you're like, I want to watch this.
Yeah. You just want to see your friend. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And, you just want to see them, support them, whatever it is. But the spectacles that they're so hilarious. Like you can't, and you start to get to know some of the personalities behind people that are involved in it. Not necessarily the individuals themselves, but people who are like one remove from them, and you hear them having to run through their like scripted routines, or in some case very unscripted routines that they give, or even if it's just the people that are interviewing on a red carpet, whatever. And the whole thing, it takes on a different sort of layer. Like I don't watch it because I care who's going to win. I watch it because it's like it's tangential to your experience of just living here in general.
Yeah.
It was like, they call it like Oscar season or whatever. It's like, everything ramps up to that moment.
You can't drive anywhere in the city without seeing for your consideration billboards.
Really?
Yeah.
They're everywhere. And my social media, all the ads turn into FYC, even though I'm not going to be voting in any of this stuff.
Yeah.
I think they just target Los Angeles in general.
Yeah, it's probably, they just blanket the whole city.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my wife is a journalist, so as well as she writes comic books, but she's also a journalist, and she gets invited to some of these FYC events. So some of them we go to, and they're hilarious.
Yeah.
And you're like, yes, we went to an FYC event for the Ninja Turtles animated film, but it wasn't an FYC event, but it was because it was kind of like right before a lot of that stuff was going to drop. And it was a party that they put on in a pizza place for the Blu-ray release. And it was just so strange.
That sounds fun. Yeah, I'm not going to
lie. I spent most of the time, Rosie and I spent most of our time talking to Mark Lester, if I'm not mistaken, who introduced himself as a guy who produces Lifetime movies. But he's the fucking director of Commando and Showdown in Little Tokyo.
I was watching Commando today, actually.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're leaving the place and we're like, what's Mark's work on? And we're like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? He led with, I've produced Lifetime movies.
Yeah.
We're like, Mark.
Bro, back it up.
I'm looking at you and I'm not thinking Lifetime movies. I'm leaning toward Commando.
Dude, Showdown in Little Tokyo, that's a classic in my house. Like, come on.
Yeah. It's a classic in any house, damn it.
There you go. Yeah, well, you know what? It kind of loops back to this film because I feel like, in a way, you've got Brandon Lee from Showdown in Little Tokyo, and his performance in The Crow is foundational to what they wanted to do with Spawn. And then you've got sort of the parallel to what they wanted to do with Spawn, which was the Punisher movie with Dolph Lundgren.
Oh, God.
There's no naked Tai Chi in this, though.
And like you're not gonna watch Spawn and think, boy, did they fuck that costume up. You're gonna think, okay, yeah, it looks a little weird as a hard shell, but they were doing their best.
Yeah.
When you watch that Punisher movie, you're like, he's purple? Why is he purple?
In the comics, he was a little purple. but that didn't.
Right. You do your highlights as purple or blue.
Yeah.
Come on.
They should have. They should have brought it over.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So not to derail the conversation because we were on a roll here, but I noticed a crazy Easter egg today that I had never ever noticed in all the times I've seen this movie.
Oh, I'm excited. I want to hear.
In this party scene right here, like when he first becomes Spawn, he first goes after Wynn. See the woman in green right here?
Yeah.
She just caught my eye. I'm like, why is this woman dressed like a Power Ranger? You see the earring?
Oh shit!
It's fucking Angela. She's in the party scene. They show her for like a second.
Shit.
Yeah. And then like they never reference her ever again.
Huh.
That's awesome. Well,
Deep cut for the nerds.
Yeah.
Angela's a gray area of Spawn rights and is no longer a Spawn character.
She's a Marvel character now. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is fucking insane.
She's a snap card for Christ's sake.
How the fuck did
How
that happen?
they pull that off?
Because I think Neil Gaiman might have created her or something like that. It was something.
How did that happen? Well,
Yeah.
sit down. Oh, you're sitting.
I'm sitting. I'm always sitting. I'm lazy.
Long story short is there was a massive lawsuit that went on for so long. And it had to do with Todd trying to acquire the rights to Miracle Man, which Gaiman worked on. But it also had to do with Gaiman's stake in his rights in Angela, which Todd was not cutting him into.
Oh.
And it's such a weird, messy thing that's very hard to describe in any kind of short way. The long story short was Todd wasn't compensating Gaiman fairly. Gaiman got rights to Angela. And when Marvel decided they wanted to acquire Gaiman's stake in Miracle Man, which is a whole other weird thing anyway, because it's not clear if they ever even had the rights to have made that book in the first place. But that's a different conversation. Somehow Gaiman set up a deal where they bought the rights to Angela and his rights to Miracle Man. And now Angela's a Marvel character.
Oh.
Yeah, now she's a one cost like snap card, two cost, two energy cost.
Yeah.
Insane. I mean, that's probably the craziest comic book legal battle of all time. And there's a lot of crazy ones.
Yeah. There was one, Machine Man is one that's now caught up in like a Marvel versus DC, like argument.
Really?
Yeah, DC is now.
Wait, do tell. I'm curious.
Yeah, this just happened within the past couple of weeks. Machine Man was created as part of the 2010 comic, I think, which I might have this backwards, but like I think DC at the time published the 2010, like the movie, or 2001. I'm sorry.
Oh, 2001. Yeah. The Kirby thing. Yeah.
Machine Man was created in that comic. Oh, I'm sorry. No, Marvel created the comic. Warner Brothers made the movie.
Published. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Warner Brothers owns DC.
So they're saying because this is this is a Warner Brothers property, we own this character. Right. But Marvel was the one that made the comic. So now there's like a back and forth of like who owns Machine Man.
That's a super interesting circumstance because most of the time when you want to retain your rights to something, you put it in the comic book first. Batgirl, who they made knowing they were going to put her in the TV show, but they said, well, why don't you guys make something in the comics and then we'll put it in the TV show. So they did that. She-Hulk, which Stan Lee specifically did because CBS wanted to make a female Hulk. And he was like, not on my watch. And so that's why she's the last thing he created for Marvel, if I'm not mistaken, because he wanted to get in there right at the end and make sure She-Hulk was Marvel property. But then the murky waters are stuff like ROM and the Micronauts and other things like that. If they appeared in other Marvel comics, their appearances in those can't really be canon, because Hasbro has the rights to them, but they weren't very careful about this stuff at the time.
Yeah. God damn. That's why legal battles are just like the worst.
That's why we'll never see Muppet Babies again, damn it.
Is it really?
Yeah. They can't clear all the movie clips in each of the episodes, yeah.
For which one?
For Muppet Babies, the Muppet Babies cartoon from the 80s.
Oh, because of...
we lost him.
We're losing him. There we go.
What?
I'm trying to come back. I want to talk about Muppet Babies.
You're back. You're back. Yeah, no, they can't clear all the movie clips like in Muppet Babies episodes.
Woo, thank goodness. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
Well, did they actually use movie clips, or did they?
You know what?
It was like, okay,
yeah, because like somebody would like open a door and it'd be like the trench run from Star Wars, which like they like Disney owns.
They
both
did a lot of
those.
Star Wars stuff.
Yeah. But there's like Star Wars, there's Indiana Jones clips, there's like old like sci-fi movie clips, like all kinds of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I'm not to be a hater here, but no great loss. Muppet Babies, I don't need to watch it again.
It could be one of those things that
I want to argue this, but I don't think I have any smoke on it.
I'm dogging this fight.
Because like I watched it and I loved it, but yeah, like I'm not gonna watch it now.
No, you're not gonna put it on now.
And my kids are well past that age.
Yeah.
God damn you.
But you know what? Are they the right age to watch Spawn?
Yeah. One of them definitely is. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know about your kids, but my niece and my nephew, not of differing sides of the family, don't even know each other. They love shit CG. They think it's like the fucking greatest thing. It like fuels their lives between Roblox and all this other stuff they're into that just looks like crap. Like I don't know if you know about these games like
I know Roblox.
Basics,
I know
Granny. You know, stuff like these terrible mobile games that look like awful PS1 rejects. I'm like, these kids would be right at home with Spawn's visuals. I feel like for them, it would feel like nostalgic, even though they weren't alive.
Yeah. Like you know what though? Like they play those shitty looking games, but they would probably rag on this, like just because it's a movie.
Probably. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Do you want to throw?
They probably wouldn't even make it through. They'd be on YouTube watching clips of it. They're like 10 reasons why Spawn is the craziest 90s movie you've never seen.
Ew, I don't like that at all.
Do we want to try to throw some ratings on this?
Do some ratings? Yeah, we can do that.
We've said fuck the format tonight, but
yeah,
we're having fun. Damn
fuck the format.
Yeah,
yeah, I'll start. Taking into account. You
really need to work up to that one.
God damn it. No matter what I say, it's going to piss off somebody. So taking into account how fun this is to watch, because I have a good time watching it every time I watch it. The god-awful CGI, the good makeup, and the fact that I just love John Leguizamo. It's ranking at like a 6.5.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's respectable. I do enjoy this movie, but also like there are things that just like, oh, I hate this. Like there's parts of it I hate.
Everybody feels like cardboard.
Yeah, like it's just like it's very 90s as fuck. We said this before, and I mean that like both as a credit and a discredit. Like it's good. Like there were good like things cinematically in the 90s, but this also has the bad ones too.
Oh yeah.
That being said, it is like an enjoyable watch. I was gonna go 5.5. I think I'm gonna up it to a 6. Solid 6 on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got an 11 out of 10.
Well, I'm going to take a slightly different stance.
All right.
Here. And I'm going to say this is not a rating that has anything to do with, let's say, I'm not going to claim to be able to rate the quality of the production. I wasn't there. I don't know what they did. I don't know what they were going for exactly. I'm just going to rate my enjoyment level. And I would say I'm a solid 7.5 flowing capes out of 10 when I watch this. Not because not because it reminds me of the comics per se, although I do really like how oddly faithful they were to certain characters' appearances.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like the fact that the live action stuff looks like a weird, it's filmed like a weird, like made for TV thriller. And then the graphics, sometimes you're like, wow, they really pulled it off. And then 2 seconds later, you're like, oh my God, no, like there's nothing, they didn't pull anything off. That to me, that all those contrasts, I'm loving the way those work together, even though I shouldn't. So I'm 7.5. I'm there, man. I'm fully in support. The only thing that I worry is I want to get candid with you guys.
Let me get in close for this one.
Serious moments.
When they make another Spawn, I'm going to support it. But could it ever possibly capture this perfect mix of dated aesthetic, dated graphics? Like regardless of the quality of this film, it's a perfect moment in time for what it is.
Yeah,
from the soundtrack to the performances, like everything this is the late 90s in 93 minutes. Or if you watch the director's cut longer.
In a vinyl clad nutshell.
Yeah. So like, it's like I struggle with that sometimes with modern films. Like, I don't know if you guys partake in Tubi much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But Tubi originals, I've been digging in.
I have not been brave enough to watch a Tubi original.
Oh baby. If you like a B movie, Tubi originals are carrying on the tradition in ways you never thought they could be.
Yeah.
And part of me wishes there could be a Tubi original Spawn film just to be a modern version of what this one is. But it's never going to happen.
Yeah. I have a feeling that if the Spawn reboot, remake, just a new version of the movie comes out, it is going to be just like a really dark version of whatever Marvel is putting out. And I don't want that. I just have a sinking feeling that's what it's going to be.
Because Todd McFarlane, like he's been working on that script. I mean, literally forever, man. Which is a bad sign, by the way. Yeah. That's not always a good thing. I don't think it's going to be. I mean, just knowing what I know about Todd McFarlane as a person, I don't think he's going to make a Marvel clone at all.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think the only way they can like going back to what Nick was just saying, I think the only way you can make this movie and make it really click is to make it a period piece, make it a 90s set movie. That would be. I
don't know if I was saying that, but that is an interesting point.
No, that's where I'm going with it. That's where I'm taking it.
Oh, good. Okay, good. I was like, I don't know if I feel that way.
No, because it is such.
I really like that idea.
Yeah, like you were saying, it's a capture of that moment in time. It is such a perfect capture.
It is. Yeah, that's true.
Like, I think you need to take it back there. You need to make it a 90s period piece.
Look, undeniably, this movie is a big reason why a certain segment of our peers were goths at the time. I mean, goth was like a thing, man. Yeah. That was like, if you tried to explain that to somebody, I don't even think they would understand. Like, your friends walking around in school with those weird pants with the straps behind them, and you're like, what? And they're showing, and one day he's like, yeah, bro, I'm gonna paint my face all white tomorrow. It's gonna be crazy. I'm coming in, I'm doing the eye makeup, and he does it, and you're like, all right, I don't know what this guy's going for, but I'm happy for him. He seems to really be finding himself with this look. Yeah,
And you wear a trench coat every day.
He was such a part of that.
It's 90 degrees.
The trench
I don't care.
Well, Chris, you were out of school before. I think both of you guys, from what you're saying, you guys were out before trench coats got banned because of Columbine.
I was still in school.
I was before.
Okay. So was I.
That happened right as I got out. I remember that happening. And I would have been on that fucking list of kids targeted.
What was that? What was that? 99?
I wore a trench coat every fucking day.
I think so.
It was 99.
I believe it was the spring of 99.
Was it 99 or 98?
And
I think it was 99.
Yeah. And it was all of a sudden no more trench coats. You had to leave your backpack at the front of the classroom. I remember this was a big deal.
Yeah.
But that was sort of the end of the high school goth in a way.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of forced
to crack down on them.
They forced them out. Yeah.
They really did. All of a sudden, you couldn't express yourself in quite the same way.
My people were driven underground.
Which I feel is a shame. Because let's be real.
Back to the shadows with you.
Yeah, those fucking bitches, they weren't goths. Those Columbine bitches.
No, they were bullies in their own right.
Goths didn't bring guns to school.
That's what I'm saying.
They brought fucking knives.
I get it. It's complex. There's a lot of factors, and
there's a lot of nuance. Yeah,
you felt like things were going to boil over for some people. Yeah. You were like, "How could this can't go on too much longer for this person?" I remember there were a lot of kids that I used to try and look out for that were a couple of years younger than me that would just get picked on, and I was like, I was like, yo, man, you got to stop bullying this kid in the back. Thinking, you know what kid's going to do to you one day. You know, I'm not saying it to the guy at the time, but I'm like, I'm thinking that. Like, I'm thinking this is insane. Like, you're really going to push somebody to the brink with this. It was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah, it was the era of the school shooter.
I feel like it was sad. It was sad that we lost that crazy, insane, artistic, individual expression.
Yeah.
Because that was something that was all part of the Spawn vibes, man. Although I feel like a goth probably would have hated this movie at the time.
Depends on what kind of goth we're talking about.
Yeah.
That's true. If they're corn leaning, then obviously they're going to be feeling the vibe.
You're corn leaning goth.
Corn leaning goth.
It was a thing, man. You had your Manson leaning goth and your corn leaning.
Your Smith's leaning goth,
friends, but they disagree. You know, it had to do with the width of the pants. If we're being real with each other.
How flared are they?
He's coming into school. He's bragging about the circumference of his pant leg.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
I got UFOs on.
Yeah.
Oh, that means you're a raver.
Dude.
Yeah.
I think one of my friends, he was like, yo, man, I got the 54 inches on today. And I was like, all right. Like,
check it out.
For you?
Jinkos.
Like, what am I supposed to say?
Yeah.
Like,
That's bigger than my waistline, dog.
it's nuts, man. But that's what we were doing back then.
Yeah. Yep. If your pants weren't soaking wet at the bottom, you weren't cool.
Oh, I used to cut. I couldn't handle the wet. So I think I was not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's the way it is.
Yeah, I couldn't do the like, I'm also really short, so I just couldn't let those things drag, man.
We have the opposite
too much
problem.
weight.
Yeah. Kaiju size.
I'm 6'3". You're 6'3". Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we were in different worlds of pants.
Yeah.
I never had any cool clothes. I had Walmart everything.
No. But I don't feel like that necessarily precluded you from not having some cool clothes. They had some weird shit there too, didn't they?
Yeah, but I wasn't allowed to have any of it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, I would get away with like a t-shirt that was kind of cool every now and then, but like,
okay.
Actually, one of my favorite shirts I ever had was a white like ringer tee, but it had like the old school Cocoa Puffs shit on it. Yeah,
dude, a cereal t-shirt that was like super social currency back then.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
I had a Tang shirt. That was like my personality for all of 8th grade. Was they were like, oh, you're the guy with the Tang shirt.
Sick.
I wore a lot of comic book shop clothing in that era, like where you could only get like comic book themed shirts like in comic book shops. So I'd wear like, I remember this one, like I'd get shit from like older people a lot from. It was like the cover of it was Amazing Spider-Man, like. I think it was from it was part 3 of like the first Carnage appearance, like the first like big Spider-Man Venom Carnage fight. And it was like the 3 of them fighting, and then like it was a black shirt with like white webbing, and like I remember like my dad would give me shit for it, like, why would you wear that shirt? Because it's awesome.
Nah, that's cool as fuck, man. We would have been your buddies. We would have definitely been. I would have been like, I would have seen that shirt and I would have been like, that's what I'm talking about, man.
I had another one with like, it was like a white shirt with like black like X-Men comic like panel printing on it, and then like the main picture was a full color picture of Beast like jumping over a fence that just said, what do we tell the others? I'm like, yeah, I got hit shit for that. That's
insane.
Yeah.
What does it even mean? I love it.
Exactly. Yeah. That was another comic book shop shirt
back then. I'll never forget the day when I found an Iron Man shirt in JCPenney. And my mind was like,
yeah.
I think it was like 2001. I was like, you got to be shitting me. I was like, you're telling me I don't have to go to the comic shop anymore for these crazy shirts?
Yeah. 2001. Yeah. Because like mainstream comic book stuff had been started already. So
it was happening, baby. It was the wheels were in motion. And thanks to Todd McFarlane and the Spawn movie for pushing us into the Blade movie. And even though Blade wasn't the hit with the merch and with the fashion per se, that was when studios were like, oh, we could take this seriously. I think we can make an X-Men film if they're dressed like Blade.
Yeah. Yeah. They are dressed like Blade.
We have on hand. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, they can be in costumes, all black costumes.
Yeah. I mean, that worked better than if they gave them yellow spandex.
But you know what? I'm stoked for what they're going to do for the costuming in this Deadpool film that's coming up. Because we're finally going to get the yellow and blue Wolverine looks like it's going to be nice.
Yeah.
We're at a time when they can pull it off now. So,
well, because everybody wants it now. Nobody wanted it.
They do, which is crazy. No, nobody wanted that shit.
Yeah.
No.
Because it would have looked tacky. Now we want tacky.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want that comfort food.
I feel like, let's be real, they are able to execute it where they know how to, they can sculpt that cloth to make it look like fabric, but feel like a superhero costume.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I'm in.
All right. You guys want to do some trivia on this movie?
We can do some trivia.
I have some trivia.
I love that.
I scoured IMDb roughly a year ago.
Yeah, so you scoured our email notes.
Love it. I got one too that I'm interested to see if you cover.
All right. Yeah. All right. We'll get there.
Not to bother you with trivia.
I used to think they were kind of trivial. All right. John Leguizamo ate live waxworms on pizza for this film. He then vomited immediately.
Yo, I was wondering about that.
Real worms. Yeah.
Because in the take, you can see him bite into it. And I'm like, I don't think those are CG.
Big ass.
Turns away real quick.
Big ass mouthful of them.
Oh, that's nasty.
Bro, why would you do that?
Because it looked
unnecessary.
Awesome. Dedication to the bit, man.
I don't even feel like it looked that good. I wasn't even that into the moment. I was like,
really? I was, because I was like, that's gross as fuck.
Okay, refresh my memory. I don't remember seeing this anywhere. Did he have an ice cream truck ever in this film?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Because that was like his signature thing, if I remember, in the early comics.
Yeah, the body was like the body of like a child molester who like owned an ice cream truck that he possessed. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. So, like, why couldn't he have eaten an ice cream cone? Come on, Todd. You got to get the Easter eggs right, bro.
There was an awesome issue I remember with that, like the ice cream guy is in hell, and like he's traveling through like the different layers of hell with like a group of people, and like some of them are getting picked off. I just remember like this one girl gets eaten by like this fucking spider that has like a transparent like abdomen, and they're all like, "What happened to her?" And they see her like inside the fucking abdomen of the spider. Like, yeah,
it's gross.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I love that.
Yeah,
I might have to acquire some Spawn comics and.
Dude, there's a lot of good Spawn out there, man. And two, you can dig through if you got a shop near you that you like, dig through those back issue bins because you might find singles for cheap.
Yeah.
And you might find some of the old collections for cheap. I believe that me and Rosie bought the first 3 collections, maybe like $2 a piece recently.
Oh, really?
Within the past few years. And the collections are like that's a time warp.
The big fat ones, right?
Nah. These are old collections from like late 90s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Those ones. I can't speak for any of the other trades, but you know what? That first volume has been reprinted so many times. I'm sure you can find that quite affordably.
Oh, yeah. All right. Let's move on to our next trivia fact here.
Yeah, still. Come on, Nick. Lay it on.
All right. Martin Sheen did this film because he'd always wanted to be in a comic book movie. I don't know that this is really where you want to start with that, but
but doesn't he look like a Todd McFarlane drawing? I mean,
he does.
It's
the beard,
and I'm like,
it's the beard.
Oh, it's so good. I love it.
It's the incredibly sculpted beard.
Yeah.
The living room sequence is when the film gets good for me. I know it takes an hour to get there, but when he's there and he's got Wanda like restrained, and he's like. You didn't want to make me the top billed villain, did you? Well, I'm going to show you that maybe you should have. I'm like, yeah, come on, Martin, get it, baby. And it falls off. But I feel like, I'm happy he's in it. It adds a level of credibility that this film shouldn't have had, but yet somehow does.
I think they got lucky.
Yeah, they got so lucky. I wonder, did somebody show Martin the character and he was like, oh shit, that kind of looks like me with a weird beard. Let's do it, baby. Like, I want to know if that happened.
Give me a weird beard. John Leguizamo revealed in an interview one day while he was shooting, he had to go to the restroom very badly. However, it took almost an hour to get out of the suit he was wearing. Leguizamo wound up relieving himself while in the suit by accident due to it taking so long to get the suit off. So the inside of that fucking Violator not only had his regular sweat and body funk, also piss.
Yeah, like full piss.
No.
Which I'm assuming is what he smells like anyway.
Yeah, the suit looks like it smells like it. You know, it smells.
The character looks like he smells like piss.
Yeah. Exactly.
He's given a piss performance, if we're being real with each other. Yeah, you can feel it. It's you know what, John? You did it. I could feel the piss while I was watching it. It was tangible.
I could hear
it.
It's
In
like
the room with
I was pissing.
I could hear the squish of the boots, you know?
Oh, that's brutal.
I will say John Leguizamo is a fucking treasure, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is part of his legend.
It really is. Yeah. This and, you know, the man took himself from this to John Wick, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. In 2011, Michael Jai White had expressed interest in returning as Al Simmons in a future Spawn movie and has supported Todd McFarlane's pursuit towards a new Spawn film. I would like to see him in it again.
He can still pull it off.
He's still got the juice.
Yeah.
Big time. I don't think it's too late.
Yeah.
He was Bronze Tiger not that long ago on Arrow. It was probably less than 10 years ago.
The man he's probably more fit now than he was then.
Yeah.
Unquestionably. Yeah. I think he's more accomplished as a martial artist in general, which is an interesting thing because Spawn isn't a character you necessarily relate to that.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, you would have maybe rather seen him play. Shit, it's hard to say. There are a zillion characters he could have played. I mean, if they could have done a Bishop with him and had him doing some sick fight sequences, that would have just been mind-blowing.
That would have been
So it's really a lost opportunity in that regard. But, hey, at least, you know, he gets to bring the physicality of his experience to this, even if he's not,
or for sticking,
delivering a lot of roundhouses, you know.
You know, in the Image universe, like a chapel, live-action chapel, that would have been cool.
Oh, which brings me, speaking of which, Nick, do you have a trivia about chapel in there?
I don't.
Well, may I drop mine?
Do it.
If you don't
Let's
mind,
do it.
because it's the perfect segue. Okay, so don't know if you guys remember this, but the assassin who kills Al Simmons in the comics is Chapel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Chapel is a Rob Liefeld character. It's not a Todd McFarlane character.
I couldn't tell because he wasn't covered in pouches. And I saw his feet.
I understand.
I saw his feet.
Yeah, you did once. Yeah, that's true. So I completely get it. Very normal confusion there.
Yeah.
When you see the feet, you think, how could it be?
Can't be. Yep.
So Chapel is in the comics. That's Al's origin. He gets murdered by Chapel, who gets sent on the mission with him, who's told to take him down. And then he goes to hell. He becomes Spawn, yada, yada, yada. We've seen it in the movie. We know what happens. But they had to do something different for this film. Thus the creation of Jessica Priest. And my understanding is that in the comics now, it has been retconned. So Jessica Priest is Al Simmons' murderer. And it began with this film.
Oh, really? So they got rid of the whole chapel, just to cut Liefeld out of it?
I believe so. Yeah, because, the Liefeldness of Image is quite complex. Rob isn't a partner in Image anymore. He was kicked out. And not only was he kicked out, but Rob doesn't retain the rights to a vast majority of his 90s catalog, Youngblood being one of them.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so it was
he sold those off.
All the rights belonged to Image?
No. Image doesn't hold anything. Image is a middleman, if you will, because each partner in Image retains their own studio, and that studio is what has the rights. So if I had an Image book, Image, I'd love to work with the Image. I'm trying to work with you. But the great thing about Image is once you hit a certain sales threshold, the rest of those sales become yours. You retain everything. You don't have to give Image a cut of your profits, aside from their standard cut. And you don't have to give Image any of your optioning rights, anything like that. So Image itself makes a profit off of its books, which sell well. But the reason why there have been so many Youngblood relaunches, and Glory, if you guys remember that one from maybe 10 or so years ago, those were operated through Image Central, but the rights are held by this completely nutso dude, who I believe he calls himself Fantastic Comics or Fantastic Studios. I don't know. He was on Twitter a few years ago, and everybody was just clowning on him for it was a year straight. Actually. Yeah. It was nuts. But this bonkers guy has purchased those rights to Rob's catalog. So yeah, he doesn't even I don't think Rob can even do anything with Chapel without going through the current rights holder, which is weird to think about.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. So, and is that guy just he bought them and he's just holding on to them, or is he like parsing them out? Like, hey, you relaunch it, you write it, blah blah blah.
He's tried to get stuff going numerous times with different creative teams, but he doesn't pay particularly well. He doesn't pay at all in certain circumstances.
Yeah,
he was trying to leverage the fact that many artists outside of North America are used to receiving reduced rates. So a lot of companies go to certain countries in South America or the Philippines thinking, oh, we're going to get a really budget rate for really high quality art.
Yeah.
And I think they've got the philosophy wrong. I think you need to think, oh, well, these artists are incredibly accomplished. Let's get their services and let's compensate them fairly. But he wasn't doing that.
What?
I know.
Crazy.
Can you imagine somebody getting compensated fairly in this economy?
No.
But yeah, he wasn't really producing things ethically. And you know what? I feel like it's all part of Image's strange legacy. Yeah. You know, it's all part of the same thing. These guys, they were trying to do something really special and they hit about 50% on the special level. And then the other 50%, they just hit repeating the mistakes of the companies that employed them in the past.
Yeah. So you're telling me is communism doesn't work?
Let's try it. It's got to be better than what we got going on.
Nick's here. We can't lower the flag.
I know,
right?
God damn it. All right, let's do some more trivia.
Look, I know there's wires tangled up somewhere. I don't know where they are.
Trivia. The heavy metal band Iced Earth, which has an album based on the comic Spawn, were offered the opportunity to be on the soundtrack. They turned it down because they thought there was too much techno music on the soundtrack. So then the guitar player wound up being in the January 6th incident anyway. So he's not.
Techno was there at the Capitol that day.
Yeah.
Oh shit, dude! This is wow.
Sorry, John.
All-time flop, bro.
Yeah.
You could have been getting royalties to this day.
Yeah.
And you already had Spawn songs.
Yeah. Which are really good. Like the Dark Saga is a fucking banger of an album if you're into power metal.
Could have been teamed up with like Tiesto or like Paul Oakenfold.
I love Tiesto. I want to hear that.
I've seen Tiesto live.
It's like a little bossa nova remix of the Iced Earth track. Yeah, like fuck it, why not? Like, let's do it.
I think I threw up a little bit in my pants.
Look, I understand for some purists, they're like, get that. I don't know what they're like, get that drum machine out of my peanut butter or whatever the fuck they're saying.
Yeah.
But
the drum machine doesn't go in the peanut butter.
Just get the check, man. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. No, it would have been great for them because like Iced Earth is very popular in like, well, they were in like the European metal scene, because that's where power metal is popular. Like Europe, South America. Nobody gives a dick about power metal in the United States, and they're an American band. So like for them to just go like, no, poo, we don't want to be on this soundtrack because it's not for us. So you're out of your fucking mind.
Could you give me some comparable acts? Who sounds like these guys?
Iced Earth?
Yeah.
Maybe like Blind Guardian or...
Nah, keep going. Go more mainstream.
Iron Maiden.
Oh, okay, I understand.
Yeah.
Wait, but they sound like old school like that.
Yeah, like they're like a thrashier version of like mid to late 80s Iron Maiden.
Oh, okay, but they're not like full Slayer.
No, they're more melodic.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Maybe I'd like them, but maybe I wouldn't. This guy sounds like a bit of a head case. Apologies to the Iced Earth guy.
He's crazy.
If you're listening to this.
Yeah, John Schaefer, if you're listening to Big Dumb Monsters.
You know what? Shout out to you, John. Like, I appreciate your hustle and your conviction, but I also feel like maybe it's misplaced in certain ways in your life. And there's never a wrong time for reflection, John.
Just, trust election results.
Yeah. Or just you know what? Just talk to Todd. Just send him an email. Just be like, bro,
apologize.
Can I just get on the next soundtrack? You know what you should do? Ask him if you can like make a new Spawn comic soundtrack. Like,
can we? Hey, can we do a second album, please?
There you go.
All right, let's move on. This film was initially given an R rating by the MPAA due to the violent content. After some edits, the film was finally able to obtain PG-13. After the film was eventually released to home video, it was given the original R-rated cut. Some would argue that after seeing and comparing both, they can barely tell the difference.
Because, what did you guys watch?
I watched whatever's on YouTube. I think it's the PG-13 one, yeah.
Wait, so does this movie not have proper...
Oh, no, it's R.
Like a legit... Is there a digital release of this thing?
Yeah. It's got to be somewhere.
I was just curious.
I had the option to buy it for like $7.99.
Yeah, so it must be like the original... like an official digital release then.
Yeah.
Through YouTube, right?
I mean, I did. I'm not like watching it illegally on YouTube. I rented it through YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like $3 or whatever.
Yeah.
So my VHS tape here, unfortunately, PG-13. I would have loved to have seen Spawn's tits, but that wasn't in the cards for this particular viewing.
They are.
And,
want to hear that second?
Honestly,
fuck?
Yeah, there you go. It feels like it's a PG movie. It doesn't even feel like it goes PG-13. This is like very tame.
No, it's like quote unquote violent, but not gory violent. Like there's violence and fighting and all that shit that happens, but
there's not even really blood in this film.
No, it's mostly green.
Does green require a higher rating though? I guess is the question.
I wouldn't think so because
PG-13.
Because like in video games, like Mortal Kombat, for instance, they change the blood to green so they can get a
that's true.
Lower,
that's true.
ESRB rating or whatever the acronym there is.
Yeah. Well, I'd be curious to watch a director's cut. I'm interested what they include.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's too much, right? Maybe like 10 minutes of fighting.
Probably not even.
Back then, if it wasn't Blade Runner, it wasn't significantly different in your director's cut anyway, for the most part.
Very true.
I remember getting a lot of VHS tapes that promised me I was getting the expanded version, and I swear to God, it was like 7 seconds.
Yeah. Oh man, Blade Runner. Too many director's cuts. Like so many bad ones too. Like I don't understand it.
It's strange. A lot of strange things going on with that film. I agree with the choice to maybe re-release it and redo it, but it took them a while to get there.
Yeah. It's. Oof. I like the version without the overdub narrative on it. But the longer cut. So like
is that the first one that they did? Maybe
I want to say it's the
final cut.
The last one.
The final director's cut, I think is what it's.
That one's good. I mean, they're all, but I don't feel like they're even significantly different, frankly. I don't, not to be a hater.
You just get weird nuances. It's weird nuances.
It's very minor stuff. It's just the narration or not narration. That's really the most important.
And some of the subliminal stuff too. So like, one where you see all the little origami shit around is kind of an important one.
True. Oh, I do that. You gotta have that. That's important.
Yeah.
But like, I think the main thing we have to acknowledge here, if I'm not mistaken, is that they had him drop the N-word in the narration, which is the main reason to not need the narration. I'm like, it's not. At that point, you're taking value away from your film.
Yeah. It's well. Yeah. No, get rid of it. All right. A little more here. Edward Norton was originally going to play Terry Fitzgerald, but dropped out to work on Rounders, which was a good choice.
Yeah, I would say so.
Because Rounders is an awesome movie. Nick, have you seen Rounders?
Is that the gambling? They're playing poker movie?
John Malkovich and the crazy over the top Russian accent.
Yep.
I don't have any strong feelings about it.
No,
but I've seen it. Yes.
Maybe rewatch it.
Okay. If I may say, if we're talking about Malkovich giving unhinged performances, I just want to give a shout out to
Con Air,
a very underappreciated. It's beautiful. I love that one. I mean, who's denying that's impactful.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about the Ripley sequel that he made, where he plays the talented Mr. Ripley, but he's living in Germany and he's like an art thief or like an art forger or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
What?
I want to say it's like Ripley Unchained or Ripley Unbound. I can't remember.
Yeah, that is somebody mentioned
like
this
a B
recently.
movie and you like an unhinged Malkovich, that is a must watch.
It sounds like the title of a steamy fuck novel.
I know. Let me look it up because there's two Ripley series. There's the one with him, which you can watch legally, and then there's the third one with Barry Pepper playing Ripley, which you can only watch on YouTube. And it wasn't even on YouTube until a couple years ago.
Oh shit.
That one I believe is, I can't remember. I'm going to tell you though, these are worth watching.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Oh, by the way,
yeah.
While we're on Ripley, real quick, for the listeners, for you guys, if you haven't seen the movie that they based Ripley on, I know it's based on a book, but really it's based on a movie. The French film, Purple Noon, I believe it's called. I might have gotten that wrong.
All right.
That is also a must watch.
Okay. How much Prince is in it?
Unfortunately, none. I'm sorry.
God damn
but you will be shocked by how much of a direct remake some of the scenes are in the American version of Ripley.
No shit. It's kind of like,
it's pretty remarkable.
It's kind of like what they did with Old Boy, where it was shot for shot the exact same fucking movie.
Yes, some of the stuff is. Some of it really is. Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. I apologize. I've diverged, but I'm going to find out your Ripley sequel name.
Okay, no, it's fine. We live on tangents.
Yeah.
I know how it is.
Let's see. The distinctive.
Oh, I got it for you.
Okay.
I'm ready. Sorry.
Go ahead.
The sequel is Ripley's Game.
Okay. Ripley's Game.
Yeah, that one's definitely worth watching. It's like, it is. Oof.
All right. We'll go
trash.
Back to trivia real quick. I got 3 more left to go. Distinctive black cigarettes Jason Wynn smokes are Samporna Extra Clove cigarettes. They are identifiable by the gold band above the filter. You probably had
You said they're cloves?
Yeah.
Cloves, yeah.
You had a clove face,
Oh,
didn't you?
Oh, fuck
dude,
yeah.
Is there anything more late 90s than a clove?
Yeah. Does anyone remember cloves? Like, yeah. If there was a signature scent of the late 90s, it was cloves, yeah.
My sister used to smoke them.
Dejarums, oh yeah.
Dude, it was like you're hanging out with your friends. You're like, what do you guys want to do tonight? We could go to like the Kmart parking lot or we could go to Denny's. And they're like, yeah, but like before we go into Denny's, we have to make sure we smoke a clove.
Yeah.
Like that was your night's activity.
Anybody got any cigarettes? Sorry. I just have a clove. Like, yeah.
Just have a clove. Or I don't know if you guys had these. You guys are both in New York, right? New York State?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was too, but I was over like Rochester is where I was living at the time.
Okay.
All right.
The other thing that was really big for us were biddies, the strawberry leaf cigarettes.
Yeah.
I don't remember those.
Yeah. They used to sell them in a bundle at the bodegas, right?
Yeah. They're not as nice as a clove. Let's be real.
Just smell like somebody's smoking a ham in here. So I'm smoking a clove.
So, yeah. One time somebody was like, have you tried this new one? They're like, have you ever smoked like dandelion leaves? And I was like, no. I was like, but they're like, it's not, it's like a clove, but it's not a clove. And I was like, well, it's the late 90s, so sign me up.
Here we are, late 90s. Hit me up.
Sounds like something a Muppet would
anything.
smoke, like dandelion leaves. Like
it was nuts, man. People were like, dude, you just smoked anything.
They smoked them.
One time I tried to smoke an actual dandelion.
They smoked corn husks in the fucking Depression.
we're smoking banana peels.
They didn't have nothing on us in the 90s.
Yeah. Oh, banana
we're not doing
peels.
this out of desperation.
Oh my God. I forgot people used to smoke banana peels.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that?
No, I didn't.
I tried it
Oh my
once.
God.
It doesn't work. Yeah.
It doesn't sound real. I'm sorry.
So you take the banana peel and you scrape like the inside, like the banana adjacent part of it.
Yeah.
And then you let that dry out. And then you
put it in the oven for a while. Like, like to hydrate. And then you smoke that. And it doesn't.
Yeah, we were like the pre-meth generation. All of our experiments failed.
Yeah.
We were like
getting high with household
we're
cleaners.
Like, Joe, do you want to do some nutmeg tonight? And you're like, sure, let's do it. And you're like, it's not working. This is nothing. And then my friends are like, bro, you want to buy some Coke? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And then you're like, you got a Ziploc and it's like got like this much in it, and you're doing it, and you're like, I don't think this is Coke, but I don't know because it's the 90s, so I can't Google it. So,
all baby laxative.
Yeah. It's like, but my headache's gone, so I'm feeling good. Yeah. So that's nice. But like, I'm not high. Like that was just how we did it. Like we had no chemical knowledge, but a lot of ambition.
Yeah. Always had to quote George Carlin, always had an arm out and a leg up. All right. There we go. When Spawn is fighting the Violator, he encounters a frightened homeless man. This is actually Todd McFarlane.
Yes, I caught it when watching. I was screaming.
No, really?
I was like, Toddy! It's fucking Todd!
Hot Toddy.
I did not notice that.
Well, and our last IMDb trivia fact is the body count of this movie. 6.
All right.
Very small.
Whoa.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't even think Wynn dies, does he? Old Martin Sheen?
I don't think so, because didn't they say like something about him going to prison at the end or something?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who even like...
Yeah, for a vengeance story, there's not much vengeancing.
No, not a lot of vengeancing done. I mean, who even counts as the kills, really? Like some random people on the street, I guess.
Well, Priest, and then the one kid's dad.
A couple of soldiers.
I didn't remember Priest definitively dying.
Yeah, at that party, she gets shot in the head.
Fucking Violator dies, right?
Not definitively, though.
Violator. You can never kill Violator. He's a construct. He's a concept.
Listen, man.
She killed Violator, man. He's an idea.
Violator's eternal.
All right, we will move on to the better known as. I'm gonna pretty much just blow through these.
Yeah, you got a lot open. That's too many.
Some of them I plan to go through pretty quickly. We have director Mark A.Z. Dippe. Aside from this movie, he's actually worked on a few things you would recognize the name of. He directed the Marmaduke movie in 2022.
Oh, that's a banger.
Whoa. Wow. I mean,
it's just on my Marmaduke Facebook page the other day. We were talking about that great movie. He directed a couple of...
Speaking of comic movies, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Comic strip movies.
Oh, wow. Shit, that's 2 of them. Yeah. Look, all I'm saying is get the paycheck, baby.
Yeah.
Marmaduke it up.
Yeah.
He directed a Michael Jackson video somehow in 2017, Michael Jackson's Halloween. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's impressive that he was capable of doing that.
He's directed quite a few Garfield things, a couple of Garfield videos in 2007, 8, and 9. He directed the movie Frankenfish in 2004.
Oof.
And his first directing job, 1995, a Herbie Hancock video.
I like Herbie.
Oh, yeah. Herbie Hancock's awesome.
Up next, Michael Jai White. We mentioned before he was on Arrow on the CW. He was also in The Dark Knight for a little bit. He was one of the heads of the gangs. He was also Black Dynamite. That might be, aside from this and Arrow, probably what he's most known as. He was the voice of...
It's interesting. He's so well known, but he doesn't necessarily have he doesn't have a signature franchise.
Yeah, a real standout thing.
No, he's just got a lot of B action movies.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's still got it in him. I don't think time's up for this scenario.
Oh, no.
I think Michael could definitely still embody that one character where you're like, I couldn't, now I can never watch it without thinking of him.
Well,
kind of like
his action is amazing.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
It is. It's terrific.
But his acting is not amazing.
Look, I feel like there's a range of Michael Jai White performances. Some of them I get really immersed in. Other ones, not as much.
Yeah.
But I always will watch a Michael Jai White film.
Yeah. Because he's going to kick the snot out of somebody and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. My personal favorite, probably Blood and Bone. I'd say I feel like he was really that one. He hit a great balance of everything for that film.
Yeah.
Okay. He did voice Blade in the Midnight Suns video game from 2022.
Cool.
Didn't you say you didn't like that, or it wasn't great?
It was like, I don't know. I didn't really get into it. It was like a strategy game, which that wasn't what put me off. It was just like between the missions, there's just these like long social interactions and like planning birthday parties for characters. Like, can I just get back to the fighting, please?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I heard it was a very unusual game.
Yeah, it was weird. Let's see. He's done some voice work for DC, Batman, Soul of the Dragon. He did a voice in. Let's see. He was in. Something's going to pop up here. Never Back Down. Isn't there like a DMX movie?
No, that's it's kind of like the Karate Kid, but MMA.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, yeah.
You know what? I kind of like that series actually. I got no complaints about it.
I saw the first one. It was all right.
Okay, he was in Never Back Down, No Surrender. That was 2016. Black Dynamite.
Yeah, I enjoyed that film. Falcon Rising. I enjoyed that one as well.
All right.
You know what? You're well more versed in Michael Jai White movies than I am. And I'm not. I'm man enough to admit it.
I love a martial arts film, and so there was a time where I just made sure that I got through a lot of his catalog.
Yeah,
nice. And I think he's a great performer. It's interesting because his reputation and his skills as a martial artist probably even eclipse his performances. So it's a very unusual scenario. I feel like he's still there's still that role waiting for him, that pinnacle role.
Oh yeah, I think he would make like a really awesome like bad guy. Like he'd be just a fucking menace of a villain.
It's tough to think of what character you would cast him as if you're thinking in a franchise sense, because he could work for so many, but he would also feel maybe a little bit. You'd watch it and you think, I'm not watching this character. I'm watching Michael Jai White, because his own fame sort of eclipses any role he takes on at this point. Mm-hmm. But I'm always going to put it on. I'm going to try any movie he's in.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, moving on. He played Major Jackson Briggs in a couple of Mortal Kombat properties, in the TV series, the animated TV series, as well as one of the straight-to-video movies. Let's see.
I forgot they did those.
Yeah.
Great casting.
Was an episode of the Boondocks. The Black Dynamite we mentioned, and the Dark Knight we mentioned. More DC work. He was Jon Stewart in the Justice League Heroes video game. Justice League Unlimited. He was Doomsday. I'm trying to go through this. He's one of the Universal Soldier movies, 1999 Universal Soldier.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So that's got to be the third one, right?
I believe so, yeah.
I think it's the second. I might be wrong about that, though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Could be.
He's in the Jerry Springer movie in 1998, Ringmaster.
I forgot that existed.
Yeah. It's very,
2 episodes of NYPD Blue. He also played Mike Tyson in the 1995 Tyson TV movie on HBO.
Oh, that's right. You're going to skip right over Renegade, huh?
No, actually, I was going back for that.
Okay.
He was in an episode of Renegade 1993.
The best show that's ever been on television.
We have mentioned that quite a few times on this show. He was also in an episode of Saved by the Bell in 1992. He's in the original Universal Soldier as well. But yeah, Saved by the Bell.
Oh, I forgot that he was in that.
Yeah. He is in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah.
Audience Man.
Which turtle? He's not a turtle?
No, just like an extra. His first 2 movies are actually trauma movies. He's in the Toxic Avenger Part 2 and the Toxic Avenger Part 3 in 1989.
Look, all I'm saying is that's a legit way to start your career. So
yeah. Hey, it worked for James Gunn.
Legend.
Worked for James Gunn.
That's true, yeah. He's controlling all of the DC movies now.
Yeah.
Michael Jai White, you know what I would actually love to do? I would love to find a way to write a character for him. Say, what's the characteristics that all the characters you've done so far you feel like have been missing? And let's work on that. Let's figure that out together. And I want to write this for you so that you feel like you have that role that you can fully realize. Because it's still there. He's got the magic, baby.
You should write a meta comic about him trying to find that role.
I'll write a comic about me trying to find that role for him.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, we will move on to John Leguizamo, who is just awesome. I really am a fan of his.
Yeah.
Still in stuff, up to now. He just did a series I just watched on Peacock, where like he does like a travel series, like an Anthony Bourdain type of thing, where he just goes around to like different cities and like talks about like the Latino population and like tries the food and stuff like that. It was really good. He voiced the Riddler in the Batman Audio Adventures podcast. That was 2021 and 2022. I need to hear that.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
I actually found a couple of shows kind of like that. I don't think it was that exact one.
Yeah.
But the DC has done a couple of like Batman audio dramas.
Yeah. I listened to a couple of the Marvel ones, but not that Batman one. But now that I know he's the Riddler, like I want to hear that.
Yeah.
He was in The Menu in 2022, which was a really, really good movie.
Yeah, The Menu was awesome.
Yeah, shit, he was in that. That was a great film.
Yeah. Yeah. I did not expect that.
And he was really good. Does he play himself or is it
pretty much his credit is just movie star?
I think he's just supposed to be kind of like an amalgamation of what people think about him and then regular shitty.
If they used his own name for him or not.
Yeah,
but obviously they didn't use his name.
It's just movie star as his credit.
I don't think there weren't many named characters in that movie.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
He was, of course, Bruno in Encanto. We are not supposed to talk about him.
No.
He shows
I've
up.
never seen it.
It's your standard like Disney like family movie. It was enjoyable.
Good songs, really good songs.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
I think it was oh shit. The guy who did Hamilton.
Oh, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
He did all the music.
You know what? I think I did see it actually. This is the one where the kid's got to go into the afterlife to find his grandma.
That was Coco.
Or grandpa.
Oh my god!
If you're an ugly cry, the last 15 minutes of that movie,
I am a grown man.
I just remember those songs being really good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, those are that's a really good movie.
Coco
music.
had great music too.
Okay, then Encanto, no, I don't know anything about it. Yeah. I didn't even know the difference between Encanto and Coco.
Yeah.
If you want to bust into an ugly, ugly weep, watch the ending of Coco.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good film.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, everybody always focuses on the first 10 minutes of Up. No. The last 15.
Yeah. It crushed me.
Of Coco.
Yeah, I was trying not to openly weep sitting next to my children.
I'd really enjoy a live action version of Up with John Leguizamo as the old man. So his wife's dying and he's like, get up, bitch. What are you doing? That would be really good.
He is, of course, in the first two John Wick movies. I do enjoy those movies.
Yeah.
Yes, John Wick's brother, Tom Wick, right? I love that character.
He's Latino, so it's Tom Wick-ez.
Yeah.
It's Tomaz.
Yeah. We could get lost in his credits here. We're only up to 2014. He was in Chef.
Yeah.
With John Favreau, which is another really, really good movie.
Yeah, it's a great film.
He's in, at least two things every year. 2013 was fucking huge.
What a career.
Yeah. He's in
the guy does Broadway and stuff too. He's like a beast.
Yeah, he can do serious and he can do drama and he can do the goofiest fucking comedies you can think of. And he can mix them.
I love his one-man shows, the specials he did on HBO.
Yeah.
And the last one he did for Netflix was really good too. Latin History for Morons.
Yeah.
That's all of his stuff like that is fucking great.
Yeah.
The stage stuff.
And you look at that and you compare that to Summer of Sam, which is a pretty fucking dead serious movie. But then you've got, Tu Wong Fu.
Yeah.
It's just so goofy, but also heartfelt and drama. He's the total package.
I think I prefer John in a drama role. I think that he really commits. So when you're watching him, you really feel that character.
A lot of the comedy stuff he does, I think he just he did in this. He just goes a little bit. They let him off the chain too much.
Yeah, much.
Yeah.
That was the era, though, right? If you weren't completely unhinged as a comedian in the 90s, then you probably weren't successful.
Well, yeah, because everybody was following in Jim Carrey's footsteps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Adam Sandler, like, you know, like everybody you had to have some kind of voice or something like that. Like your shtick had to be like molasses thick.
He is in the Ice Age movies. He voices the character of Sid.
Sid the Sloth.
Oh, I didn't know that. Good job, Johnny.
Shows up in 2 episodes of My Name is Earl. That was 2006. He is in Land of the Dead. That's right. We talked about him before.
We did.
In Land of the Dead.
Is that the Romero one?
Yes.
The one that he came back to it?
The one with Dennis Hopper. And what's the guy from The Mentalist? I forget his name.
Oh, I don't recall.
Yeah.
But Asia Argento.
Yes. So we have talked about it before. I'm going to keep going through this really quickly then. Moulin Rouge, of course, was another movie he was in. It was pretty well known at the time. The Pest, 1997. That was the comedy he was in where like he goes full.
Wait, no, I think you might have skipped my favorite.
Oh, what did I go over?
Spawn?
The one he did, was it him and Danny DeVito?
What one was that?
Isn't he in that one? He plays a character role. I think it's called What Would You Do?
Oh, I think I might have gone over that. I don't know if I've seen that.
It's a strange film. I think he plays like the best friend. It's a Martin Lawrence film. And I believe like Leguizamo plays Martin Lawrence's character's best buddy who owns like a restaurant. So a lot of the scenes are set with like Martin Lawrence's character going to that restaurant stuff. It's a very strange, maybe like 99.
Is that
something like that? Is
that the one where Martin Lawrence was like he was a thief? And
yes.
DeVito wound up stealing something from him. It was like a ring or something.
Oh,
yeah. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. And Leguizamo is kind of like it's his buddy he goes to for advice. But it was a bit of a departure role for him at the time because he was like in pest mode, if you will. So that he had a character that wasn't so outrageous, was a little bit more grounded, was cool. And I think that the weirdest thing is I think the main legacy of that film, it's largely forgotten.
Yeah.
But there's a song that they made for the soundtrack where they sample Marvin Gaye. And I think that that's the thing. They still play that on the radio out here sometimes.
Huh. He had a fucking amazing run, like right in the middle of the 90s. He was in Romeo and Juliet in 96, The Fan with Robert De Niro in 96, Executive Decision with film legend Steven Seagal, also in 96. To Wong Fu, 1995.
So good.
He had a series on Fox, House of Buggin'. That was 10 episodes, 1995. I watched the shit out of that when it was on. I used to love that. The Chicano Militant Minute. He was in Carlito's Way in 1993, which I love that movie so much.
I haven't seen it in so long.
He's Benny Blanco from the Bronx. He is, of course, Luigi Mario in 1993's Super Mario Brothers.
Why does that movie not have a proper release? That's a beautiful film to me.
What?
I'm in the chat ramping it up. I'm like, oh, you better mention Mario, bro. This is better come up.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago.
I think it needs a Blu-ray.
The jump boots in that movie became all of the like prison security boots in Face Off like a couple of years later.
Definitely. Like
you're waiting for the Criterion release of the Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm like, bring it on. I want the director. I want the Leguizamo commentary. Like,
oh my God,
let's do this.
He probably doesn't have any commentary because he was hammered through the filming.
The film is fucked.
Yeah,
but
it's stupid fun.
Like Spawn, I enjoy it every time I watch it.
I can't say I do.
I respect that.
He was in Die Hard 2 in 1990. He was also.
He is?
Yeah.
Who the fuck is he playing Die Hard 2?
Burke. So yeah.
Oh, okay, of course. Naturally.
He looks like a Burke. He's in Casualties of War with Michael J. Fox, 1989. 3 episodes of Miami Vice. That was 86 through 89. His first role is in a Madonna video for Borderline, 1984.
Jesus.
It's a good song.
Let's see. We will move.
That is a good song.
What was I listening to? Like a Madonna song came on in the radio today. I'm like, fuck, this is a good song.
Early Madonna was awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
they're banging.
Yeah. It's just like really good constructed pop songs.
The same radio station out here that religiously plays that What Would You Do, the song from the What Would You Do soundtrack, they're always playing Borderline and Lucky Star.
Yeah. They're like your deep cut, not deep cuts. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what? It's LA. It's weird. It's like they're like mainstream hits out here. It's hard to describe if you don't live here.
Yeah.
All right, we will move on to Martin Sheen, just another like legendarily well-known actor. Some of the highlights: he was recently in Judas and the Black Messiah. That was 2021. He played J. Edgar Hoover in that. That was a movie about the head of the Black Panthers. What's his name? The guy from Nope. Daniel Kaluuya played him.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one yet. I got to check that film out, though. Sounds good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It just shows you like how he got completely like fucked over by the government. Like they just,
What?
Yeah. Surprising.
Crazy.
Can't believe that it had happened. Yeah.
He is in Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping.
Oh, come on. Yeah. That's a banger. Yeah. I mean, anybody who's in that, shout out.
That is, what's his name? Andy Samberg, his like parody, like Pop Star movie.
Yeah.
He feels like this Pop Star character. And like, it's pretty fucking funny.
I'm not a Sandberg fan.
Oh, I thought that was hilarious.
Oh, me neither on most circumstances, but that film hits.
Yeah.
Have you not seen it yet?
Oh, I've not.
Oh, I recommend it.
Oh, you should watch it.
Yeah.
I cannot recommend it enough. It's really short too. It's like 74 minutes or something crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's playing like a Justin Bieber
watch.
Type. Like, it's such an asshole.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, and it's the levels of parody in it. Like when they get to the Insane Clown Posse parody, if you like Miracles, you're gonna love that part of the film.
Oh man. Apparently Violent J is apparently a sex pest. Yeah,
that doesn't surprise me.
Excuse me, what did you just say?
I guess it recently came out that Violent J from the Insane Clown Posse is just a creep. Like a
shout out. Sorry to my gigolo buddies, but I'm not too surprised. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. I mean, like, not gonna lie, had a phase. Still listen to a few songs every now and then.
Nobody's judging magnets. How do they work?
Come on, it's cool. How the fuck do they work? But I never
we all got our song.
Yeah, I never really pictured him as like a fucking like a sex pest. It just, I don't know.
I have found that people who work the hardest, celebrities, who work the hardest to surround themselves with a community of their own making that is often in worship to them, are undeniably some kind of pervert or abuser who has created the community to shield themselves. Yeah. I mean, I almost can't even think of an instance where that isn't the case.
Yeah.
It's almost universally true.
Yeah. Look at Jared Leto.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Or don't look at him. He aggravates me to look at.
Unless it's Morbius, I don't.
I was going to say a certain orange man leading a cult in the country right now.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, it's if you want to get away with your abuse, start a community based around your identity. Yeah. It'll work great for you.
Well, yeah, I mean that goes back to cults of, hundreds, if not thousands of years ago. I mean, Jesus Christ,
Founding Fathers.
Yeah, but you've got like Jonestown. You've got fucking Heaven's Gate. Like all that. The fucking Mansons. Like.
Yeah.
Let's see. Moving on. He played Uncle Ben in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, which
I forgot.
Yeah, my least favorite Spider-Man movies.
Are you guys excited for our new Uncle Ben that's coming up?
Oh, what's his name? Adam Scott apparently is supposed to be the new Uncle Ben.
Come on, let's get pumped. Madam Web, that's my cinematic event of the year.
It's the next Morbius for sure.
I'm really fortunate. Rosie gets invited to a lot of screenings. I'm fingers crossed that we're going to get that email this week for the Madam Web screening. But if not, I'm going to be there like opening night, getting my web on. It's webbing time, baby. Let's do this.
We went to the movies the other day and Amanda's like, Madam Web looks really good. I'm just like... Really?
Do you think?
That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to Amanda.
He was the elusive man in Mass Effect 2, which was an awesome game. Sounds like Tom's pulling up.
Yep.
He was in The Departed in 2006, Martin Scorsese's Boston mob movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Japanese movie that it's based off of, but I hear it's better, if not, like on par.
Yeah. He was in Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks. Let's see. We're still only in the late 90s.
It's fucking Martin Sheen. You just have to go.
Yeah.
He was in Apocalypse Now. Like, there we go.
He played the real Seymour Skinner on that episode of The Simpsons where he comes back from Vietnam.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He's been held prisoner the whole time, and like everybody just hates him, so they just go back to the old Skinner.
Yeah.
Can I see your copy of
That's
Swank?
the one. Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Armin Tamzarian.
Armin Tamzarian.
Yeah, Armin, can I see your copy of Swank? Yeah.
This is Armin's hooch.
Yeah. This is Armin's copy of Swank. He is in the movie Dead Presidents in 1995. What's going on, man?
We have a visitor.
Yeah, we have a visitor. Tom is entering the studio. We are towards the tail half of this here. He is in an episode of Tales from the Crypt in 1993. I was looking this up when I was doing this earlier. Well-cooked hams.
Steamed ham.
Steamed hams. This is the one with Billy Zane where they're playing like competing like magicians.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I've seen this one. I need to watch.
It was 1993. So it's season 3.
Season 5. So right there.
This is
real?
This is right around the time of Bordello of Blood, which to me was like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
I wish this sounds like an episode I probably would have loved to have seen as a film.
What? Real quick, Bordello of Blood or Demon Knight?
Bordello.
Okay. Yeah.
By hair.
Samesies.
Yeah.
Demon Knight's great, but
I love how much fun Billy Zane is having. In
Demon Knight is just more cheeky fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, yeah, like you said, Apocalypse Now. And he's Martin Sheen, for Christ's sake. Wall Street. You know who Martin
Unbelievable
Sheen is.
career.
Yeah.
I mean, he played Sly Sludge in Captain Planet and the Planeteers.
That's true.
Yeah, arguably the only mistake of his career, Charlie Sheen.
Rude.
I'm going to go right over her. She played, what's her name?
Come on, you can do it. Spawn's wife.
Yeah, Wanda. There we go.
Who looks so much like a Todd McFarlane drawing. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Both Wanda and Cyan look like they were right out of the comic.
Oh my Lord, tell me about it. Even, you know what? I know they swapped Terry's racial background, but they still made him look like Terry. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But she was in the Bad Boys movies, all 3 of those movies.
Nice.
Up next, Nicole Williamson, who played Cagliostro in this. He was most notably, he was Merlin in Excalibur in 1981. He also shows up as the Gnome King in Return to Oz in 1985, which is also a crazy fucked up
Return
movie.
to Oz.
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a good one, man.
Speaking of crazy fucked up movies, he's in The Exorcist 3.
Yeah, Father Morning in The Exorcist 3. There is a meme from that movie that is 100% accurate, and it just says, name one like scene from a film that scarred you for life, and it's the guy in the white sheet with that scissors walking behind the nurse. Like, yeah. Yep. That's the one. That's the one.
I hate to say it, though. I feel like his Spawn character was dragging it down for me, man. Wasn't doing it for me. Did not hit.
I can see that. Yeah. He was like a little out of place. Like, yeah.
But also, didn't he kind of remind you of that one older guy that always worked at the comic shop? Like unintentionally, like captured the fedora vibes of that like one guy. You're like, he doesn't own the comic shop, but he's here all the time.
It was the Clove cigarettes. That's what did it.
You could smell it, like as the performance is happening. You're like.
Up next, we have D.B. Sweeney. He played Travis Walton in Fire in the Sky. That was 1993. That's another movie that scarred me for life.
That's traumatic.
Yeah.
It's fucking traumatic. Have you ever seen Fire in the Sky?
Maybe I'm not scarred by it.
Yeah.
So maybe I have.
It's the movie version of a guy's, telling of his experiences with alien abduction and everything that happens.
I remember this. Yeah, no, I haven't seen it.
The abduction scene will fuck you up.
Yeah.
Like it's the high point of the movie, and it happens like way early on, right? Like
yeah, because the whole movie's about like him. He goes missing, and like the rest of the movie is about like his friends because they get like arrested for it, and like them trying to prove that like they didn't do anything to him. Like
if you only watch it for the abduction scene, you're fine.
Yeah. Let's see. Anything else worth mentioning? Maybe not. We're going to move on. We're going to move right on.
You don't want to talk about Atlas Shrugged?
Yeah, 2? Atlas Shrugged 2. I'm good.
Oh my God. Yeah. Speaking of which, the screenwriter of this film, if I'm not mistaken, wrote Left Behind.
Oh, the screenwriter of Spawn did?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think this was like a Wikipedia read I did very quickly. I'm not mistaken. He Left Behind and a different religious film. I think they were saying 2 of his 3 big releases were religious films.
Left Behind were the Sorbo movies, right?
No, that's what's his name? Kirk Cameron.
Oh, that's yeah.
Yeah. Although it wouldn't surprise me if Sorbo's in one of them.
Yeah. Well, I know he has done like religious weirdo like end of the world movies.
Yes, and Left Behind has had like
what's up?
God's Not Dead.
Oh, that's right. Sorbo did the God's Not Dead movies.
That's right.
Atlas Shrugged. There's 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken. I think I've watched all 3.
Oh, I'm not getting into it.
I shrugged, and I forgot it, but you know what? It was something I needed to do.
I needed to go through that.
Yeah.
Up next, we have Melinda Clarke, who played Jessica Priest in this. She was on the Nikita TV series for 70 episodes.
Holy Christ.
Yeah.
I didn't think it had that many.
Yeah, for real. It was a USA series. She was on Gotham for 3 episodes. It was 2016.
Oh, who was she?
Grace Van Dahl. 2016. So yeah, it was, forget what season that would have been.
I don't know.
I checked out after season 1 on that show.
I actually really liked like season 1 and 2, and then I had to call it quits after that.
One was good for me.
Yeah.
She shows up in an episode of King of the Hill. She was on the show The OC, 90 episodes of that.
Wow.
She's in an episode of Firefly. That was 2003. Good Lord.
That doesn't feel good.
Yeah, so old. She's in Mulholland Falls, 1996. Oh, that's right. This is why I saved it. She is in Return of the Living Dead 3 in 1993. She's the girl on the cover, like the zombie girl with the finger, like the finger knives.
Yep.
Sick.
She's the one that had to be like constantly in pain to retain her humanity or whatever. Like, that's why she was all full of glass and knives and shit.
Okay. Miko Hughes is up next. He is pretty much every cute kid in every 80s and 90s movie you remember. He was in Kindergarten Cop. He teams up with Bruce Willis to fight crime in Mercury Rising. It was 1998.
Oh, no.
He gets flattened by an 18-wheeler in Pet Sematary in 1989. As Gage Creed. Some of the other standouts. He's in Tropic Thunder. He does a voice in that as a radio DJ. That might be it for the big stuff. But he's one of those kids, like, he's just all over movies. Like,
now I remember Mercury Rising. That was the one where that was like
he's like an autistic.
That was yet another autism as a superpower movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a whole genre.
Yes.
Yeah. He's also in Apollo 13 in 1995. He's in Wes Craven's.
He plays Apollo, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the first one, I think, the first Apollo.
Yeah.
So 11 through, through 2 through 11 were a different guy, and then 13 was another guy on its own. Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. He's in Jack the Bear with Danny DeVito, I believe. That's 1993. Moving on, Michael Papa John. The only reason I saved him, there's another Spider-Man connection
pizza
here.
Sucks.
His pizza blows. They got rid of the racist guy though, so it's a little bit better now. We have Uncle Ben and Martin Sheen earlier in this. He plays the guy who kills Uncle Ben in the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie. Spider movies, yeah. It's
clutch role. Yeah.
Very important.
He was also just in the Iron Claw as well. He played an Olympic coach, Kerry Von Erich's like Olympic coach. Up next, I would be remiss not to mention Frank Welker. Pretty much the voice of our childhood.
Yep.
Any like popular cartoon he did a voice on. Transformers, Scooby-Doo. There's another one I just saw that it escaped my memory, but literally the man is everywhere.
Curious George, right? I think
possibly. Oh, he's in he's the voice of like Token Razar in Secret of the Turtles, Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have people with specific knowledge in the chat.
Yeah, we just did a spot on the Frank Welker one. Oh, they're here. Yeah. We just did a spot on the Frank Welker Wonder Hour podcast recently. You should go check it out.
Those guys followed me today. It looks cool.
Oh, yeah. They specialize in just Frank Welker stuff. So we watched Troll like about 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
We will move on. Robia Scott. She was in this movie as somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a reporter in this movie. The reason I saved her, she was on Silk Stockings as well.
Yeah.
Steamy USA drama.
That show rules.
The reason I saved her, though, she was Jenny Calendar on like the first 2 seasons of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Lastly.
It. Oh, that's it. That is it. That's all we have.
Done.
Better known as. We will wrap up quickly here. Just let Nick, talk about basically what you do. I know you've written for Godzilla recently. You've written Transformer stuff. We met when you were doing your own stuff. Holy Fuck and Holy Fucked. What's going on? What do you got cooking, man? Did we lose Nick? He is frozen.
So are we.
So are we. We're all frozen.
He's not on my side. I'm not seeing him frozen.
Oh, no.
But I also can't hear him now anymore.
No.
Okay, you're not frozen on my side anymore, but I can't.
Maybe switch cameras?
I did for you, yeah.
Oh, Lord.
But it's not going over here anymore. Suck.
Well, we might be ending quicker than I thought we were. Yeah, Nick, if you're still there, if you can hear us, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
That this has to end this way. I will throw a shout out to his webpage if it's still up. Go to nickmarino.net. Check out all of Nick's stuff. We are so sorry that this ended this way.
Yeah.
This was going amazingly.
We will try to have you on another episode if you are willing
to deal with.
Yeah.
To deal with this.
Unfortunately, we're not leaving on the best circumstance, but it was a damn entertaining show.
Yeah. So thank you so much for coming by. Thank you everybody for watching this and dealing with this comedy of errors.
Yeah.
Go check out our link. I don't even feel like doing the socials.
You fucking quitter.
All right, let's do the socials.
You quitty bitch.
I was just going to go to the link tree.
Don't do that. All right, we're going to leave you guys with our socials. Our website is www.bigdumbmonsterspodcast.com. We would love for you guys to email us suggestions for the show, movies we could watch, beer we could drink, things that you would change about the show other than the technical
setup. Yeah.
We're trying. Email us at bigdumbmonsters@gmail.com. We are on Facebook, Big Dumb Monsters Pod. We are on Slasher, the all horror social network. We are Big Dumb Monsters Podcast there. And sometimes we log into Steam and probably don't play games on there, but hit us up on there, Big Dumb Monsters on Steam.
You can check us out on Twitter. We're not there anymore.
We're not on Twitch. We haven't been on Twitch.
I was going to say Twitter. You can check us out on Instagram and Threads at big_dumb_monsters. You can check us out on YouTube at Big Dumb Monsters. Make sure you stop by there. You subscribe, hit the like, whatever you can do. Stop by and do it. You can check us out on Twitch if you're not watching this live now. We have movement again. We still have a frozen Nick.
As soon as I refresh him, it freezes both of you. So I figured I'd refresh you guys and just leave him frozen.
You can check us out. We do the show live, usually every Saturday on Twitch and YouTube. Thank you for everybody who came and watched. Thank you one last time to Nick. We'll be back next week. It
will be next week. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, folks. Oh, words of wisdom.
Don't let ghoulies eat your ass.
And never sleep in a deathbed.
Bye. We love you.